First tonight, FNM leader Michael Pintard lambasting the governing PLP this afternoon, while confirming suspicions that the former leader will not get the nod to run under the FNM banner. Plus, residents on the island of Eleuthera could expect some relief as it relates to frequent water interruptions. Senior WSC officials updating our Jasmine Brown on their latest efforts. And later, raising funds while having some fun. Hundreds coming together for the annual BNT Pig Roast, including our entertainment correspondent Danielle Miller. She's got the highlights from yesterday's event. The details on these stories and so much more as Our News Weekend starts now. This is Our News Weekend. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. According to leader of the Free National Movement, Michael Pintard, there is a place for former Prime Minister and leader Dr. Hubert Minnis within the party. But that place is not on the ballot to represent Killarney in the next general election under the FNM banner. Pintard confirming as much this afternoon at a press conference at the party's headquarters. He says he spoke to Dr. Minnis and invited him to continue to be a part of the changes necessary to move the organization and country forward in another role.
I have met with our former leader, and I've indicated to him that we can benefit from, and I've asked him for, his support. His support in a different capacity than he has served remarkably in Killarney for a number of years. I've indicated to him that we can benefit from his guidance as we strategize to retake and transform this country. I've asked him to provide additional information that many times only prime ministers know that would allow us to defend our record as a party. I've asked him to continue his line of attack on government legislation, policies, and bad programs that do not assist our development. I've also asked him to share his views on who he believes might be a suitable replacement for him in Killarney.
The leader says he shared similar sentiments with others seeking to be candidates in the next election, instead redirecting them to utilize their skills and talents elsewhere. Now, Pintard also confirmed that the party intends to ratify their first slate of candidates this May. Well, worrisome behavior is how leader of the Free National Movement, Michael Pintard, described the decisions made by the Davis administration. While at that press conference earlier today at the party's headquarters, Michael Pintard gave what he says is a much-needed analysis of what is happening in the country today. Our Danielle Miller explains.
We wish to ask Philip, on behalf of the Bahamian people, who do you think you are? He thinks, we want to say to the Bahamian people, he thinks that you work for him and not him working for you. And that's why we give you an encouragement. Fire him and fire them.
That was the overall sentiment of the Free National Movement's press conference held at the party's headquarters Sunday evening. The room filled to capacity with party officers and supporters eventually overflowing to the parking lot. At the front of the room sat party chairman Dwayne Sands, leader Michael Pintard, deputy leader Shannon Dawn Cartwright, and the Secretary General Safent Roll. Leader Michael Pintard making bold statements as it relates to the Davis administration's performance. He alleged that the government is plagued with corruption and disregard for the Bahamian people, referring to the mooring seal in Exuma as one of his several examples.
The Prime Minister, when this deal kept coming up with the media and with members of the public, these are his words, not ours. We ain't talking about that no more. That one over.
Pintard also claimed that in recent times, the Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister have displayed the same behavior with members of the opposition by avoiding questions during proceedings in the House of Assembly.
If you see me ducking, I don't want my boss to see me ducking, because truly, I don't want him to fire me, so I duck in. Mr. Davis, you can duck all you want. We can still fire you. Mr. Cooper, you can duck all you want. We see you and we can fire you.
Pintard also admitting the F&M party is not perfect.
We promised the Bahamian people from the first convention that we held, we promised that we would be better than the Progressive Liberal Party today. But we know that that was not good enough. We promised to be better than we were before.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
And as the next general election is expected to be held in 2026, conversations are swirling regarding who will be named as candidates to represent each party. Chairman of the Free National Movement, Dr. Dwayne Sands, providing clarity as it relates to an unverified list claiming to represent the party's potential candidates. When it comes to claims that Long Island MP Adrian Gibson will once again be a part of the slate of candidates, Dr. Sands had this to say.
We have not made a decision, and I read in the Tribune that he was on a list. I don't know who wrote this list of persons who have been denied a nomination, and I can tell you that we have not adjudicated his candidacy. I have told him that. I have told his constituency association that no later than yesterday. And there's a process, and every aspiring candidate, whether they're incumbent or not, will go through that process. They're entitled to due process. They're entitled to be treated fairly and respectfully.
Well, police have a tragic update to an appeal for help in locating a missing man. Police say that on Saturday, the lifeless body of a man was discovered in Weston, New Providence. Upon investigation, it was confirmed that the deceased was 85-year-old Daniel Thenor, who was last seen on Saturday, March 29th in the Flamingo Gardens area. The information received by police is that Thenor suffered from a particular illness. Now the body was examined and no foul play is suspected at this time. In recent months, we've heard about the power woes that have plagued the island of Eleuthera. But there have also been challenges with consistent water supply, particularly in North Eleuthera. It was a topic addressed at the Eleuthera Business Outlook this week, where a senior manager revealed what's being done to ensure water continues to flow on that island. Jasmine Brown reports.
Last summer, Eleuthera residents sounded the alarm over consistent water and power issues, describing the situation as a nightmare. The water situation was so bad it prompted Minister of Works and Family Island Affairs Clay Sweeting, who is also the MP for Central and South Eleuthera, to declare in July that Eleuthera was facing a public health crisis. At the time, Sweeting also announced efforts to relieve frequent interruptions. Senior Manager of WSC's Strategic Coordination Office, Montgomery Miller, addressed the issue at the North Eleuthera Business Outlook, which was held in Harbor Island at the Valentine's Resort. He says they understand residents' frustration.
We are very sensitive to the needs, particularly of North Eleuthera. We know that there have been many challenges when it comes to water provision on the island, and really for us, there's only one option, which is to make progress.
So what about the work that has been done so far?
We have made progress because a year ago, there was a leaking tank, a 200,000-gallon tank that was leaking profusely. And so definitely Harbor Island in particular was suffering with low pressure, no water for an extended period of time. We made the investment. There's a brand new 250,000-gallon tank that is in service and functional. The old tank that was sitting on the site has now been demolished and construction is underway for the new 250,000-gallon tank. And so that work is progressing, and we expect, in fact, by September, that the new tank should be fully constructed and commissioned.
Miller says they've also invested in standby power at water production sites across the island to ensure there's no disruption in water supply should there be power cuts. And that's not all.
WSC undertook during the course of last year to prepare a corporate business plan. So we're not just reacting to the circumstances. I personally presented before the Cabinet of Bahamas on 2 occasions, and finally last year we got the government to approve a corporate business plan. A part of that plan, with respect to Eleuthera in particular, deals with what we call in the industry non-revenue water. We produce a substantial amount of water, but not all of it gets to the consumer. We're losing it in leaking pipes. I would have mentioned yesterday in Rock Sound the fact that Eleuthera is blessed in the sense that it is one of the first islands to receive pipe water. The downside of that, it means that network is old. in many instances. And so now the upgrade to refurbish that network so that we don't have losses on the system is an ongoing issue.
The WSC senior manager says a part of the plan to ensure there's no wastage is using technology to determine where leaks are happening and how to fix it. Reporting for Our News from Harbor Island in Eleuthera, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Thanks so much, Jasmine. In a digital age where fast cash is often just a click away, many Bahamians are finding themselves caught in skeptical situations. Earlier this week, a concern surfaced in Grand Bahama after a financial platform promising big returns abruptly went silent, leaving users feeling like they were scammed. Tonight, one financial expert is offering strategies for building wealth without the risk of getting burned. Italia Hall has more.
Many Grand Bahamians claim they were abruptly removed from a WhatsApp group used for communication on a platform known as Creators Alliance on Wednesday morning, a move that's fueled speculation that the venture may have been an alleged Ponzi scheme. Some users say they received payouts. Others believe they've been scammed as they didn't receive the money they were promised. Some question how such platforms are able to operate locally. Financial expert and CEO of Off-Cost Security Limited, Enan Fernanda, had this response.
We focus on, say, government to fix problems, but government is just the people, right? Once you look at government to fix problems, we're missing the whole entire thing of the problem is the mindset of the people. We have to start working on creating and pushing more financial literacy, financial intelligence in general as a grouping of people through our high school systems, college systems, and beyond.
He believes the bigger focus should be on how to legitimately grow your money, starting with investing in yourself.
If you're willing to sit down, watch videos, and kind of put your all into somebody else's situation or business, if you took the same time in watching videos to learn a high income skill or any skill rather in general, and you found a way to monetize it, as a people, not just Grand Bahamians, but as Bahamians in general, we would be in a better place if we just understood how to invest more into ourselves.
Fernanda adds, there's so many other things people can put their money in that's a lot safer.
Most Bahamians understand what a duplex is from the age of 8, 7, 6. They could explain to you it's this, that, the next, and break down what a duplex is. But most Bahamians can't explain complex, structured products, right? Because there's certain things that only wealthy get access to. And business is the same way. When you find yourself in a path and you're working towards building wealth for yourself or just kind of creating a structure that allows you to get rich, we have to understand that a lot of it won't be coupled with somebody telling you to do something else, but you rather disrupting and creating your own path.
And when it comes to building wealth?
So I would tell people to find a path less walked in terms of investing in yourself, finding a high income skill, finding something that's in a niche that you find that most people are not in already, and finding yourself being and striving for excellence in that specific thing.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Italia Hall.
All right, thanks for that, Italia. All Bahamas aviation agencies gathering at the Bahama Resort this week for the Service Excellence Training Session, courtesy of the Department of Aviation. Aviation Director Kenneth Romer telling us the event included other agencies that impact the aviation space. He says the aim is to transform the experience for all customers, both internal and external.
It's really going to be a focused attempt to transform our industry through training. We will have at the end of this year at least 300 in-person persons coming in for training and 1,000 trained virtually. And this to us is a transformative effort again for aviation in the Bahamas.
Family Island aviation stakeholders were also present for the training session that included a panel discussion and other training programs. Once the training is completed, Romer says customers can expect an elevated customer experience.
At the end of these training sessions, you're going to see professionals who have a deeper commitment to delivering memorable experiences for all of our customers, internal customers, the way we treat each other, the way we treat our visitors, but also the way we treat our domestic residents, those who are part of the Bahamian landscape.
When Our News Weekend comes back from the break, climate change advisors appealing for more young people to apply to become youth ambassadors. Hear why your voice is needed. Plus, they say better late than never. And that's the sentiments of two lucky winners as they receive awards from an annual holiday festival. That's coming up when Our News Weekend returns.
diet-friendly special?
Applications for the Climate Change Youth Ambassador Program are officially open. The program provides opportunities for 2 young Bahamians between the ages of 18 and 25 to create a platform to advocate for climate action. The 1 male and 1 female will represent the voices of Bahamian youth nationally and internationally. The program is led by the Climate Change and Environmental Advisory Unit in the Office of the Prime Minister.
Ambassadors, they really will end up leading community and outreach activities within the country. They represent our country at global meetings such as COP and our climate weeks. They co-chair the Bahamas Youth Climate Change Conference, which will happen this July 3rd through 4th. So we will be talking a bit more about that in the future, because in this world where we see multilateralism and diplomacy can often be seen as a difficult thing, we need to be able to prepare our young people to be able to stand up and understand the language and advocate for our country.
Now, applications have been open since March, and unfortunately, response has not been as robust as anticipated. Officials are urging young Bahamians to take advantage of this dynamic opportunity to lead the initiatives toward climate action.
I know that Easter break is coming up. I know exams are coming up, but you will not regret this opportunity to be able to represent your country and to be able to provide change in this world. And so please apply. I think the application, there we go. It's right back here. So take the QR code scan. You can go on our social media pages, the Climate Change and Environmental Advisory Unit, or CCAAU on Instagram, and you will find the application link there.
Well, after several weeks of anticipation, the winners of the Festival Noel Chef and Sweet competitions have finally received their awards. Held in December, Festival Noel is one of the most cherished holiday traditions on Grand Bahama. The annual Christmas-themed celebration is hosted by the Rand Nature Center in Freeport and serves as the Bahamas National Trust's major fundraiser for the island. Melissa Miller took home the top spot in the chef competition. Meanwhile, the sweet competition was won by home baking couple Winston and Tessina Allen, new residents of Grand Bahama who stumbled upon the contest just a week before the event while signing up to become members of the BNT.
I had an array of different foods you can try, such as the oxtail meatloaf, the spicy crab fritters, the bacon jam cheeseburger egg rolls, and I also had many stuff that you can try.
It was a hobby, but now it's developing into a business. Okay. So we're not a full-fledged business as yet, but we do baking on Fridays, and we go out and make deliveries. Okay. So we do guava duff, coconut duff, pineapple duff, rum raisin duff. We do pound cakes with different glazes. We do a chocolate with a chocolate ganache, coconut cream, lemon poppy seed. It is growing, and we do gourmet cookies as well.
Well, attendees voted for their favorite dishes, helping to crown this year's winners. Organizers like Janelle Sturridge, membership officer at BNT, are encouraging more people to support the cause.
We want everyone to become members of the Bahamas National Trust, where you have access to Festival Noel and various events and activities throughout the year while you are able to support nature.
Still to come on Our News Weekend, it's another annual event aimed at raising funds for the Bahamas National Trust. We'll tell you which national park will benefit from your generous contributions. But first,
the Bahamas track and field team is locked in and ready to go for Carifta. We'll tell you all about their preparations coming up next on our Sports Weekend.
Family, how you look so down? Set them all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that running nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. Set them all can deal with that fast, yeah. Try set them all cold and flu, daytime and nighttime too. Try Setamol, cold and flu, and get back to the better you. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Distributed by Lowe's Wholesale Drug Agencies Limited.
Good evening, happy Sunday. Welcome to Our Sports Weekend. I'm Tej Adderley. We are just days away from the 2025 Carifta Track and Field Championships in Trinidad and Tobago, and the BAAA's just wrapped up 3 days of trials. Team 242 is primed and ready to go.
We have a team that I think will surprise the country. Last year we had a very strong team. This year we'll have an even stronger team.
That's Bahamas Association of Athletic Associations President Jermico Archer. He says the Bahamas is ready to put on an impressive performance at the Carifta Games in Trinidad and Tobago against the best athletes in the region.
We've had some phenomenal performances in the 100 meters as well as the 400 meters. In fact, for the under 17 boys 400 and the under 20 boys 400, we've had almost record-breaking times. And then on the women's side, we've had some really, really impressive performances in the 100 meters. And I'm excited about what we see already. We have, I think, a total of about 65 qualifiers already. And this is still only day 2 of competition.
Cameron Henfield, a sprinter and heptathlete, one of several athletes that are pre-qualified in multiple events. He says he's ready to put on a show in TNT.
What do you think is your best event, the heptathlon or the 100 meters?
I think I would say the heptathlon, because like I'm good at multiple sports, and it's helped me to all my events. I'm looking forward to just to win my events and help the team, help the Bahamas win.
And Henfield will get his chance to help the Bahamas win when the games begin on April 19th at the Hazley Crawford Stadium in Port of Spain. You know where to go for the best coverage for Carifta Track and Field and swimming. That's right here in Our Sports. Now we're headed back to the hardwood where Kai Jones continues to carve out a role at the game's highest level. Jones had 18 points off the bench on a perfect 9 of 9 shooting, along with 7 rebounds and 3 blocks in his Dallas Mavericks 135-104 loss to the Los Angeles Clippers. It was their second loss to the Clippers in back-to-back nights. While Jones is showing he belongs, his compatriot NBA veteran Klay Thompson had 14 off the bench on 5 of 10 shooting, making 4 of his 8 3-point attempts. Anthony Davis tried his best to show that the trade of Luka Doncic wasn't a farce. He had 27 points and 9 rebounds, but the Clippers' deadly duo of James Harden and Kawhi Leonard was too much to overcome. They had 29 points each, and Harden picked the defense apart to the tune of 14 assists. The loss put the Mavericks at 38-41, just one game up for the last spot in the play-in tournament. If they can hold on during the last week of the season that's coming up, they can get in the postseason. And they'll try to break their losing streak on Wednesday against the Lakers. Before we go, Buddy and the Warriors will play the Houston Rockets within the next hour to solidify their playoff standings. And Jazz and the Yankees wrapped up the final game of their series against the Pirates earlier this afternoon. We'll have the highlights on our social media pages and on our newscast. That's a wrap for sports this evening for Our Sports Weekend. I'm Tej Adderley. Have a great week.
Thanks so much, Tej. On the other side of this break, we take a look at your Sunday evening weather forecast. Meteorologist Ian McKenzie steps in the Weather Center with a complete check on conditions. Stick with us.
Get ready to shop till you drop. The Vitamalt shopping spree is back, and you could be the next winner of a $500 shopping spree. Here's how to enter. Buy a 6-pack of ginger, acai, or coconut and hibiscus Vitamalt from any Super Value or 700 Wines and Spirits location. Snap a picture of your receipt and WhatsApp your name and photo of the receipt to 825-2191. This promotion ends Saturday, April 19th. Will you be the next lucky shopper? Vitamalt. Vitalize naturally.
Welcome back and thanks for sticking with us. Well, it's that time on a Sunday evening to wind down and plan for the week ahead. To help you prepare weather-wise, here's meteorologist Ian McKenzie. Ian.
Thanks, Megan, and good evening, Bahamas. Welcome to your Sunday evening forecast. Another gorgeous day across the country. Currently outside our studios right now under mostly clear skies, a temperature of 79. Feels like comfortable at 77. Winds are from the east-northeast at 10 miles per hour. Temperatures across the country at this time, we have a set of 79s pretty much over most areas with the exception of Nicholstown, Andros at 80 and Marsh Harbor coming in at 78. Central Bahamas, we have 80s continuing in Kemps Bay, 78s in Arthurstown, Kid Island, Georgetown, Exumas 79 in Deadman's Key, 77 in Coburn Towns and Salva, Midway between Georgetown and Coburntown, we have Rumkey coming in about 77 as well. Southeast Bahamas, 78's continuing in Duncantown as well as Abrahams Bay, Mayaguana. 79's in Colonel Hill, Delectable Bay, and in Providenciales, Turks and Caicos. 81, the hot spot as usual, Matutang and Nagua. Satellite and radar composite at this time. We have high-level clouds streaming across us. High pressure remains the dominant weather feature. This should slide towards the east in response to this cold front as it pushes near the northwest Bahamas by about Tuesday. We'll tell you more about that in our extended forecast. Boating forecast at this time. Calming down a bit, winds southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots in the northwest Bahamas, seas 2 to 4 feet. Low tide at 10:13 p.m. tonight. High tide at 4:37 a.m. tomorrow morning. Central and southeast Bahamas, small craft caution in effect for tonight. That should fall off tomorrow. Risk of rip current still are definitely swimmers. Winds east to southeast 15 to 20 knots, falling off 10 to 15 tomorrow. Seas 4 to 7, falling off to 2 to 4 tomorrow. In your extended forecast, high pressure will dominate through Monday. Expect that cold front to push through the area Tuesday, Wednesday. Some showers, possible thunderstorm activity. Behind the front, clearing skies through about Saturday, where next front should push through. We should see some dip in temperature. Elsewhere, we're looking at those highs only getting up into the low 80s, which are low temperatures, low 70s, upper 60s by next weekend. That's a wrap in the evening forecast. Make it a great, safe, fun week, everyone.
Thanks so much, Ian. Well, the Bahamas National Trust has an exciting social calendar filled with events so many of us look forward to attending year-round. One of them just so happens to be their signature event that also holds a top spot when it comes to their fundraising initiatives. Our Danielle Miller has the full recap of last night's pig roast. Take a look.
I am told this is the biggest fundraiser for the Bahamas National Trust for the year. Set against a beautiful backdrop overlooking a nice cozy beach, this is their annual pig roast. Hundreds of attendees basking on the shoreline of Malice Farms Beach for another year, taking part in the annual pig roast. With quaintly decorated tables, a delicious spread of food and beverages, it was a Cuban-style soiree. We connected with repeat attendees, familiar faces, and first-time guests, who said the event is one anyone will enjoy.
I love the food. I love pigs. I love the Cuban way they prepare them. The socializing. It's also a company event for us. I buy a lot of tickets for our employees, and so it's a good social event. We work hard. We play hard.
Well, I have to thank my employer. They purchased tickets and they offered it to the staff. I did not know about this event, but after, having to find out exactly where it was, and then after finding out a little bit about it, it was like, okay, this seems a bit interesting. The open bar helps as well.
What has been your favorite drink station so far and why?
I don't drink alcohol, so the non-alcoholic beverages, the non-alcoholic mojito.
The pig roast serves as a major fundraising event for the BNT, and the funds raised are earmarked for specific initiatives. The event also features an auction, which has, in the past, raised more than $100,000 for the BNT. This year's goal was to raise funds for the Bonefish Pond National Park Welcome Center.
Bonefish Pond National Park is the only marine protected area on the island of the Providence managed by the BNT. And it is a popular location for snorkeling, kayaking, but we want to have a physical presence. We want to be able to accommodate the staff that are required to actively manage the park.
CEO of Nassau and Paradise Island Promotion Board, Joy Jibaloo, highlighting the significance the park holds for the tourism industry.
Everybody is looking for that unique thing to do. And what better than our national parks, the beauty, to expose them to the flora, the fauna, all of nature in that setting. So to have this welcome center that just sets the scene for a wonderful visit. Just happy to be here to support the BNT in this way.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
Thanks so much, Danielle. Looks like a great time. And with that, we thank you so much for joining us for Our News Weekend. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Megan Shepherd. Have a safe and wonderful evening. Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Just click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you stay up to date with content like this from the team you already trust.